Why is generational demographics something that really matters to us?
Most advisors today is a 55-year-old male. They look across the table at their baby boomer's son or their baby boomer's daughter. This baby boomer has been a client for years. And they pitch that son or that daughter the exact same way they've pitched their parents, saying, this is what I can do for you, just like I did it for your mom and dad. Here's why I provide value to you, just like I did it for your mom and dad. What these advisors don't know is this next generation makes business decisions and buying decisions on a completely different data set than what these advisors have been selling historically. So as they're trying to make a connection and get in line to manage the inheritance, if there will be some, they've got to know who their target market is, who they're talking to, what's important to them, how they're going to, this next generation is going to evaluate this advisor's business, what they're looking for. And most people sell the way they want to be sold to. And when they do that, they miss the opportunity for the next generation.
It's a very interesting subject, and one I think we'd all like to hear a little more about. Yeah, Cam, I would like to invite you to step over to our satellite stage and go in depth, if you would.
Correct. I will do so. Thank you.
Cam,
let's get into these next generations and see what these best practices may be. For the matures and the baby boomers, and I'll show you their ages in a moment, but this is roughly everybody born 1965 and earlier. The value systems, the way they determine whether you're bringing them value or not, are based on the following: your history, your name recognition, your tenure in the marketplace, and your historical and perceived quality. The best way to describe this is your story. Each one of you has a story. And if you're a baby boomer or older, you go in front of your clients typically and begin telling them how long you've been doing it, how long you've been around, how long you've been in the industry, the business, this community, etc. Furthermore, you pitch mutual funds hypothetically and talk about the brand of the organization and how important this fund company is and how long they've been around, etc. Everything that you've done up until this moment in time, your history until this moment, in your opinion, typically gives you the credibility to ask for the business. I've been around, I've paid my dues, I have history, I have longevity, I'm an expert. Therefore, I deserve the right to have your business, or to continue with your business, or to take a shot at Junior's business. Only they're 25 or 30 years old, you sell them the same thing. As we look at how our society has changed and how these different generations have been brought up and what they've been taught is important, you see things change. The Gen X and in these two generations, to best position what you have to offer them, you must talk to them about them and their future, to them about them and what's going to happen. Please don't get bogged down in here's about me and where I've come from. Instead, focus on them and what's going to happen next. What does your collateral material reflect? Likely, my experience in working with advisors for the past 5 or 6 years, those websites are full of story, of detail, of background, of here's how I've come to this position. I want you to consider who's looking at your curb appeal now and talk to them about their future and where they're going. 2 extreme examples that I'll show you here. These are way over the top. Save them time. Become members of their team. Boomers are big on team behavior. It is one of the words in the baby boom generation that resonates the most. Team. I want to be a part of your team. I'm all in now. I'm a part of your team. The boomers' teams are not exclusively internal. They can include advisors. The matures, who predate the boomers, the definition of team was people that are in my family or work for me. The boomers changed the definition. I have problems. Help me solve them. Regardless of who you are, if you're helping me solve them, you're my teammate. So articulate yourself as a member of their team. And this is a very uncharacteristic thing for a Generation Xer to say. However, my Xers, I want you to sell yourself to your baby boomer clients as their teammate. My goal is to become a member of your family's team. Not a member of your family, but your family's team. Working with you makes difficult decisions and tasks easy. I'm going to simplify. I'm going to break it down so that you can easily understand the opportunities and the implications of these decisions. I'm going to save you time. I'm going to make it easy. So you pull this stuff out of your content to deliver to the baby boomer in the moment. And they lean forward and they say, tell me more. I understand this stuff is very important to me. However, it seems very complex. Tell me more. You've promised to save me time. You really want to become a member of the team and you're going to make it easy? Tell me more. Now, my Generation Xers and the millennials, if there are any of you in this room, I want you to be very careful of too much technology. There is a pushback in the baby boom generation, largely in the senior members of the baby boom, to too much technology. We've lost what it means to be human. It's important that I see you and look in your eyes and shake your hand. My Generation X, they will probably prefer email updates. This is a frustration of the baby boomers. I try to take my clients to lunch, take them to dinner once a year. I take them to golf. We have socializing events. We schedule these events to get people in and to thank them for their business, and my Xers never come. No, they generally won't. Don't be frustrated by it. Keep asking, but don't let their lack of attendance bear any recognition to whether you're serving them or not. They are a loner, nomad, independent-oriented group. They were raised as the latchkey kids, and they simply don't engage the same way the baby boomers do. They exist on the peripheries out there. And you'll say to them, hey, it's time for our semi-annual meeting. And they'll say, is it something we can do over email or have a simple phone call? No, I really need to get together with you and look at you and hear how you're doing and all that kind of stuff. And the Xer says, you know, I have all the friends I need. So I'm not sure we really need to do that because it sounds like you're becoming my friend and I don't need any more friends. So if you could just send me the highlights or something like that. You find that the Xers live in the peripheries. Next, they will likely let your calls go to voicemail and then check the message to see how important it is and how quickly they need to call you back. Any of my Generation Xers in this room recognize that behavior? There they are. You say, gosh, that Generation Xer, they're never at their desk. They're at their desk. There's no question that they're at their desk. Gosh, aren't they supposed to live with their cell phones by their side? I call their cell phone. They never answer the cell phone. They are living with the cell phone by their side. In fact, they see your name on the screen while the phone is ringing. And they say, I don't want to talk to her. Let's see what it's about. And you leave the message, and they check that message, and then they'll email you back. Here's the information you need. And to the baby boomer, this type of behavior is absolutely mind-numbing. You don't understand it. It's the Xer communication. Let's turn the table. My Generation Xers, if you are treating the baby boomers the same way, saying they'd probably prefer an email to a phone call, you're wrong. Call them, no doubt. Call them. Do that. It's very important. And if you have multiple Xers calling on the same baby boomer, you're going to stand out for reaching out interpersonally to them. Texting for the Xers is okay if the content is either one, a request, or two, information. They're not a chatty texter. The social technologies, you must have some presence there, a relevant presence. It's your curb appeal. It's their yellow pages is the social tech world. Cam, my baby boomer clients aren't on Facebook. That's fine. But their millennial children may be. That's important. Parents, don't forget about their parents. They're friendly with their children. They may want to get involved with you in some way. Here's a tool that I want you to take a look at. I want you to think about this. And incidentally, these slides are going to be made available to you. Don't worry about any of that. These are coming to you. This is a lifeline. This is a hypothetical lifeline for one of your millennial clients. You've gotten the appointment. He or she is now in front of you. And I want you to draw this out for them in a way that they can see and participate in. Across the table from you at a small table at the restaurant or something like that. They're born 92, 93, somewhere around there. Census says they're going to live to be 77, probably older. People of affluence tend to live to be older, but that's what the census says they're going to do. So you put some of the demarcation points. 38 will roughly be half of your life, and some of the different demarcation points. And then you begin to build a normal life. This is where you'll go to high school. This is where you'll go to college. This is where you're going to work, probably somewhere around in there. Notice that gap? That's when they're in your house, all right? That's when they're in your basement. This is where you're going to work. This is what your life is going to be like. And this is what's normal for people. And you sell. I mean, I'm getting in the way of myself. You'll have your first career-type job around here. You'll buy your first home around here if you're normal. This is what's going to happen. You'll have children around here if you're normal. This is what's going to happen. You'll start having children around here. And this is your career development part of life. And you layer this stuff in a way that's very clean and easy for them to understand. And then you say, here's how we help our clients in these different chapters of their lives. In your first career type job, we'll advise you on how to distribute your 401k. Send us the options. Let us help you there. We help our parents, our clients' children, happy to do something like this. So here's how we help you. And you begin to mark this thing with the different chapters in their life of how you will help them. It's future focused. It's future focused. And they'll say, oh, I get it. I see what you do. So you'll buy your first home, you'll have your children, etc. And you begin to mark these things on the chart above the line of where you provide value for clients like their parents. And even if you can, you put where their parents are in their chapter as well. And this is the tool you give them. Now you understand what I do. Now you understand how we've helped your parents. And they've done a wonderful job. This is what we can do for you too whenever you're ready. Eager to take the phone call. Text me if you want to, and we'll meet. I'll ask you a bunch of questions about yourself, and I'll give you some advice that you're free to take or not take. I want to know about you and your goals and your future. That's the way we help. Not, I've been in this business since '02, and I know exactly what you need. We won't sell that group.